Are you looking for the next craft beer? Well, maybe Double Cannon by Heavy Seas is the one for you. Welcome back, everybody. So we are going to try Double Cannon. Thank you to 21090 Brewing for sending me this one. I wouldn't say, I guess, a funny story. Excuse me. Steve and I actually bought this one to review after our 2017 beer bracket, which Tropicana won. And we said, okay, well, let's try another one. So this is the one we grabbed, and it was 8 months out of date. The best buy date was like 8 months, before. So we did try it. I do still have the video, but it was horrible. So I was happy to get this from 21090 Brewing. Best Buy, July 22nd, 18. So it is fresh still. Double IPA, obviously. 9.5% ABV, 90 IBUs. I don't think I saw it on the bottle. Yeah. Nothing is on the bottle. No date. Oh, it does have the ABV up at the top in the thing. Malt sweetness, dry hopped. Massively dry hopped. That's about it. Label is cool. Has 2 cannons shooting out hops. So let's go ahead and get into this. Off-white khaki head from what I do have left. All small bubbles. Less than a half a finger of head right now. We look at the color. Golden color, very clear. I can see all the way through it. Lots of bubbles coming up. Let's go ahead and get a smell. Malt sweetness and pine. The malt sweetness really stands out in this beer. Obviously, it's a double IPA. A good balanced double IPA is going to have a lot of malt to balance from those hops because you are up in the ABV and IBUs. Yeah, good malt sweetness with pine backing that up is about all I get. Let's go ahead and get a taste. Lots of malt sweetness, like big, humongous malt sweetness going back into a piney bitterness. Obviously, for me, I do not like this much pine, this much, sweet malt in my beers. If I'm going to have a double IPA, I want it. I want that citrus, that fruitiness, that pininess, that bitterness to stick out more than the sweet malt. Now, I can say for a double IPA, this is more along the lines of, say, a 90-minute Dogfish or a 120. Obviously, a 120 is going to be a lot more malty than this. ABV is going to be way up there, but to me, I understand why people like this, but to me, that malt sweetness is not what I want to drink in a beer. Yeah, to me, that malt sweetness goes through the whole thing. There's a little bit of bitterness, pine back there, but I hate to say this, but for me, this beers like this, I should say, don't show off, a lot of hops. Obviously, they need hops to be balanced, and there is that balance, but, it's too sugary for me. And that malt, sugar, sweetness is not what I want to drink in a beer. For the style and what this is, I would go 4.25 out of 5 for me. I would go 3.25. It to me, it doesn't show off what you can do with a beer. Throw a ton of grains in there, put some hops in there, and you've got a double IPA. To me, I would like to see a more complex beer, maybe showing off different hops at different points in the brew process. But I can see why 21090 Brewing like this. But for me, this is not a beer for me. This tastes a lot better than the one Steve and I have had. Yeah, that one was just a nightmare, and we stopped it. But yeah, definitely if you're into double IPAs, especially malty, sweet IPAs, definitely one to try. If we look on Untapped, 8 of my friends have had this, average 3.72. 28,000 people have rated this, average 3.78. Warren gave it a 3.25 also. He didn't expect the strong sweet malt overtone, which, yeah, there's a lot. Good, strong hoppiness. I don't get that hopness, and maybe it's because I tend to go with that sweet malt when I get that, and that's what overpowers everything. But to me, this is a big sweet malt beer, and if anything, I would say the hops need to be up to balance it a little bit more, because you're not getting a lot of those hops. Who was it? Amy gave it a 2.25. So obviously it's all over. Kenny gave it a 3.5. So yeah, it's all over the place. To me, it's either you like that sweet malt or you don't. And obviously, if you've been following me, I don't like that. Definitely a good beer, but not one that I would pick up and buy again. So thank you to 21090 Brewing for sending this. Definitely a good one if you're into that style. And until next time, happy brewing.